Welcome to Silver Bar Stacker, folks. I hope everybody's doing well and enjoying the winding down of their Black Friday weekend. And the Black Friday specials have not stopped, actually. We've got a new SBS drop, and this is definitely the most epic drop that we've had thus far. And so I'm excited to get into the contents of all the stack packs that are up for grabs on today's SBS drop. And we've also got something new to add to our one-off box, so I'm super excited to get into that. But before we get into this, we'll have to go through the contents of this week's SBS drop and talk about how this week's SBS drop differs from past drops. There's a couple slight rule changes to give people a little bit more opportunity on this week's drop, and as you can see, we've got quite a bit more stack packs available than normal, and there's a reason for that, and I'll get right into that. Now, first of all, let's get into the rules for this week's SBS drop. The main rule, the main difference in the rules this week is that you're actually available to claim 2 slots for this week, right? And so you do see 13 stack packs available here, but that means that each of the people who enter could potentially get up to 2 stack packs each. And so, you know, at the very least, we have seven unique individuals who could claim SBS slots, but up to 13 different individuals if each person just claims 1 slot. And so that's the major rule change. Normally on our weekly drops, you're only allowed to grab 1 slot, okay? And we do that purposefully because we want to give everybody an opportunity, but we have fewer stack packs available. This time we've got more stack packs available and more opportunities to grab a slot. And so this week's drop is going to be a $50 drop. So each slot is a $50 drop slot, and you can grab up to 2 slots, and you'll be in the running to be guaranteed at least one of these stack packs. We've got vintage products here, ranging from all sorts of different refineries. We've got some Swiss of America chunky 1-ounce rounds here. So there's 1 stack pack available because I don't have too many of these chunkers. They come at quite a hefty premium, but I do love these little chunkers. It's a little 1-ounce chunker. Take a look at that. A little 1-ounce chunker. This right here, folks, is 1 ounce of silver, just like a Prospector round, right? So you can see the thickness difference here. Look at this. These are both 1 ounce of silver, and so look at the diameter difference there on that chunker. It's got so much extra weight there that the thickness is just boom. She's a girthy one. So somebody is gonna end up going home with this little fat chunker of a round by Swiss of America, and this one right here is a Golden West Teton. It says there on the front. Let's see if we can zoom in on that one a little bit better. We're at the mercy of the camera quality here. Let's see if we can get closer in there. Not good. There we go. Golden West Teton. Pretty cool. Now let's take a look at the back. Swiss of America. 999 fine silver, 1 ounce. So that's pretty cool. There's your chunker of a round for number 1. Now the second one is, I mean, there's so many grand prizes here. There's a lot of cool stuff here. So just take a look. Let's just take a look at all of them. This right here is Johnson Matthey, 2 Johnson Matthey vintage bars in the original factory seal. And guess what? These are sequential serials. C284442 and C284443. Pretty cool, huh? And these ones got the JM Hammer logo there on the back. So it's always nice to have an added layer of value in the original factory seal, sequential serials. So this right here, in my opinion, is a nice stack pack. You get the weight, but you get the added collectability of all that other stuff. So that's a really nice one. Now this one right here, these bars come at a hefty premium. This is an Engelhard maple leaf bar in the original factory seal. Check this out. How cool is this? So this is one of the bars that's available as well. It's got a nice embeveled, I don't know what you want to call it, embeveled. I don't even know if embeveled is a word, but it's got a nice little raised edge there on the border. It's got a nice raised border edge there on the border. So that's pretty cool. Got a nice maple leaf Engelhard. Don't see a lot of those up for sale for $50. I'll tell you that much. That's for sure. Now over here we've got a Sunshine Mining silver bar in the original factory seal. Vintage. Sunshine Bullion, it says there on the back, and this one also has a nice little border. So, pretty cool. Sunshine Silver. Pretty cool. Now over here we've got some Engelhard bars. Right? Whoops. We got some Engelhard bars. We got a couple here. We got a major toner here. This is with the E, but you'll notice under there's the EMC logo. I think this is about a 400,000 minted bar right here. Pretty cool. Serialized. And this has the elongated octagon Engelhard stamp there on the back. Now this one right here, this is a landscape variety bar. Also Engelhard. Also serialized. Now let's take a look at the reverse though, because we've got two bars that look just like this. Now, what's the difference? You know, they look, on face value, they look pretty much the same here on the front. But once you flip them over, you're going to see a little bit of a difference. So one of these has that same stamp, and then the other's got a frosted back. Pretty cool, huh? So these are just kind of the little variations when you start to get into like vintage, and then specifically like, oh, I really like to collect the Engelhard stuff, then it's kind of cool to have like an example of each of these kind of things, you know. You don't have to go crazy with it, but if you have an opportunity to snag one at a reasonable price, or just as part of a little drawing, why not? You know. Over here, you see these commonly. Now, these are a common recurring thing. I just love providing somebody with two stackers because it's really depressing if you only have one stacker. So I like the idea of providing somebody with two stackers because then they can actually stack the stackers. Otherwise, what's the point in having a stacker if you can't stack the stackers? You know what I'm saying? So I like to give the stacker 2-packs out on the drops because people are always expecting a single ounce of silver. And so then when they get a twofer, it's a really nice feeling, especially when you get to stack them, you know. So I really like the stackers. I'll always love the stackers. Right here, what do we got? We've got a 1985 Prospector round. This is a 75,000 minted round. There's only 75,000 of these made. There's actually 3 different slight variations of the 1985 round. A lot of people don't know that. Then I also provided a 1 gram generic Prospector. I just love doing that sometimes, especially when I'm providing somebody with a Prospector round that has an eagle reverse. Then I like to just toss in a little 1 grammer that has the eagle reverse as well, just to give it a little match. Now, what's this little black beauty? This is actually a 1/10 ounce authentic Engelhard 1985 fractional Prospector round. You see the Prospector there now, right? Once we're zoomed in a little bit, you can see him. It's a 1985, the American Prospector, and this is a 10th ounce round. See the eagle there on the back? And you can actually see, now that you're zoomed in, you can actually see it. It says 1/10 troy ounce, 999 fine silver. So this is a pretty cool stack pack because you know, if you don't have any of the fracks, it's kind of cool to have a piece of history there to have a 10th ounce round. You know, a lot of people don't know that there's even fractionals, but in 1985, that's the only year that they made fractional rounds. And what's interesting about these fractional rounds is even this is a 10th ounce of silver, right? It's not much more than this 1 gram round here, right? This is only a 10th ounce of silver. Normally a 10th ounce of silver, if you're talking about the melt value, it should only be like, you know, probably like $2 or something like that. But the problem is that this is highly collectible. Why is it highly collectible? Because this is highly collectible, and this is 75,000 minted. This is 50,000 minted. There's actually fewer of these in circulation than this, and both of these are extremely low in circulation. So it's actually kind of boggles my mind that they even sell the premium that they do. I mean, this one kind of makes sense. It makes sense that it sells at, you know, whatever the heck it sells at nowadays, like $30 probably you would get a 10th ounce Prospector for. So that's a crazy premium if you think about it from a silver value, but you have to think about the mintage too and the desirability of these wonderful Prospector rounds. A lot of people love these. This is a piece of American history. This is the first commercially produced round that was given out to the public. This even precedes the American Silver Eagle, which people go crazy about. And the mintage is dangerously low compared to an American Silver Eagle on the Prospector rounds, and even more so on a fractional Prospector round. So to me, even $30 is like, wow, if you can find that, it's a steal for any of the fractionals, because the fractionals are 50,000 and as little as 25,000 minted. And to me, mintage matters. Mintage isn't everything, right? But mintage matters, right? So this is a pretty cool stack pack, in my opinion. I kind of went on a fractional rant there, but I do love the fracs, as you can tell from yesterday's video upload, and also just my general love for fractionals. I always like to find a way to justify buying fracs that I like. So the next stack pack is another 2-ouncer. So this is another, some people would see this as the grand prize, because 2 ounces of silver, that's a nice pickup, right? Especially for $50, 2 ounces of vintage silver, that's a nice snag for sure. Now over here we've got a Sunshine Mining 1986 dated vintage round, still in the original factory seal, just like this Sunshine Mining bar is. So this is still in the original factory seal, but this one is a little sweeter because you get a 1984 Prospector as well, and I wanted to toss that in there to match these, because these both feature that eagle there on the back. So I don't know. Tell me in the comments which eagle you prefer. Do you prefer the Engelhard American Silver Eagle, or do you prefer the Sunshine Mining Silver Eagle? They're both quite awesome eagles, I would say, and there's even some cooler eagles out there. I would say there's a lot of cool eagles out there, you know, a lot of variation. So let me know what you think in the comments regarding this. Do you think the Engelhard Eagle is better, or the Sunshine Mining Eagle? Next up, some Engelhard bars. And in fact, this is an Engelhard bar as well. 3 Engelhard bars left here. So this one right here, you see that's a Liberty, right? These come at a hefty premium, man. I don't know, it's a pretty recent phenomenon. The mintage is not super low on these. I mean, it's not super low on these. Yeah, it's like 75,000 minted for the Engelhard Liberty bars. For the Johnson Matthey Liberty bars, there's 2 different variations. One of them is lower than 75,000 minted, in fact. That's the undated one. And then there's a dated one, which is actually more minted than the Engelhard one, which is 107,000 minted. But for whatever reason, the Engelhard ones are carrying a crazy premium lately. So I thought, you know, let's give one lucky stacker a chance at grabbing one of these high premium Liberty bars by Engelhard. So now the Liberty bar reverse looks like this. It's much different than the Johnson Matthey version, which has like an MTB stamp on the back. And you'll see right here, there's the E inside the little box. So that's your indicator that this is definitively a Engelhard. Okay, and this is dated here, 1986. So Liberty Trade Silver, Statue of Liberty on the front, an Engelhard 1-ounce bar. Somebody is going to grab this for $50. And then we've also got 2 Engelhard bars here. One of them has a larger E and one of them has a smaller E. Okay, they're both portrait style bars. They both have the same type of reverse, but you saw there's that one small variation there. One has a smaller E that's centered in the globe, and one has a larger E that's centered in the globe. Interesting, right? that slight variation is the only difference, other than the fact that this is still in the original factory seal. So these are the stack packs that are up for grabs today. I hope you are able to give this SBS drop a try, because this is definitely one of the juicier ones that we've had. And so there's 2 slots available per person, and good luck grabbing a slot or 2 slots if you'd like to. And so here's what we've got for our one-of-a-kind pickup. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what we got in store. That's it. 1986 American Prospector proof. Now, what makes this a proof? You've got frosting there on the Prospector, and you've got a proof-like finish, mirror-like finish there on the back. You can see my finger there on the back. That's a proof. Check it out. The eagle is proof. The eagle is frosted. So that's the difference, right? That's the difference between a normal Prospector round and a Prospector proof. Let's see if we can find actually a 1986. This is a 1986. So this is a direct comparison of a 1986 proof and a 1986 Prospector. How cool is that? Let's take a look at that. Huge difference. Huge difference once you look at them up close. Very crazy. And let's take a look at here at the eagle. No frosting, tons of frosting. I just love how the eagle looks on the back here. So I'm a big fan of collecting the Prospector proofs. I know there's a few others who are really big into collecting the Prospector proofs. You've got Three Toes, right? You've also got Silver Struck. These are also collectors of Prospector proofs. So I've been collecting, I'm a big fan of collecting Prospector proofs. I have not collected them all. That's a very, very daunting task to be able to do such a thing. The Prospector proofs vary in many mintages, and they have a very interesting sort of history, I guess you could say. You've got your normal Prospector rounds, which many people aren't even familiar with the different variations of just the normal Prospector rounds, but let's do a quick rundown on those. You've got the 1980. I don't know if I've got them all here with me. That would be. I might have them because somebody had that. We have sold some full year sets recently. So let's see. I've got some of them out here. I don't know if I've got them all, but I can fill in the gaps for us. This is a 1987. This is the last year regular Prospector that there was. Okay, this is a 1986. This is a 1985. This one right here is a 1984 with an E logo. So there's two variations of the 1984. Actually, there's a 1984 that actually has a. I don't have it with me. I've got plenty of them usually, but anyways, there's a 1984 that has like an eagle reverse. And this one's got an E logo reverse, right? And then this one right here is a 1983. This is a very difficult year to find. 1983. And the 1982. This is my personal favorite year. You got the 1982. So these are all normal Prospectors. And you've got the E logo on both of these for the reverse, right? These are all normal Prospectors, not the proofs. So there's 7 of them. There's one missing right there. I'm not going to worry about grabbing it. And then there's also proofs. Okay. Now the proofs are a little bit different. In 1984, for the regular Prospectors, you had one with the E logo reverse, and you also had one with the eagle reverse. Okay, but for the proofs, it's a little bit different. For the proofs, there's a 1982 proof. I don't know if where's the 1982 proof? Here's a 1982 proof. Yeah, 1982 proof. This has, of course, an E logo reverse, but it's a frosted E. I'm sorry, this is really bothering me, so I'm just going to go ahead and say that this is your 1984 eagle. This is an eagle right here. Okay, so that is your 1984 eagle for your regular Prospector. Now, there's also a 1983 Prospector proof. So here's your 1983. Oh, come on. Come on. There we go. 1983 Prospector Proof. And this is with the E logo reverse. Now, what's very interesting is that in 1983, you had your regular Prospector, and this only came with an E logo reverse, just like this Prospector Proof is. There is also a lower mintage 1983 Prospector Proof out there that has an eagle reverse. There's also one that exists out there with the lower mintage. I don't have that one. So there's two different Prospector Proofs in 1983, but only one regular Prospector in 1983. And there's two different types of Prospector regular rounds in 1984, but there's actually only one 1984 Prospector Proof. I don't have that either. That's another gap that needs to be filled in. I don't have the 1983 Eagle reverse, but I do have the E logo reverse. So I'm looking still for the 1983 Eagle Proof, and I'm also looking for the 1984 Eagle Proof. So that's another interesting thing, is that they only had a 1984 Eagle for the proof, but they had a 1984 Eagle and E logo for the regular. But then they had both for the 1983. So that's like 1983 to 1984 is when they were transitioning from the E logo reverse to the Eagle reverse, and they must have minted more, you know what I'm saying? Like they had more of the 84s with both reverses and then more of the 83s with the both reverses for the proof. So it's very interesting. That's very interesting to know, in my opinion. Very cool. Okay, so this is a 1986 regular round. So this right here is a 1985 proof. So 1985 is the only year that they did the fractional rounds for the regular rounds, and there's also a couple different slight variations on the 1985 round, the regular Prospector round. But here's the 1985 proof. You got a frosted eagle there on the back. I love that frosted eagle. It's very, very beautiful, actually. It's a very chunky eagle. So you got the 1985 proof. Then you've also got the 1986 proof. You got a couple of these, actually. So this is what we saw already. You got the 1986 proof. It's also got a frosted eagle. And then there's actually no, believe it or not, there's no 1987 proof. It doesn't exist. But there's a 1988 proof that exists. It's produced with the Summit Bank Corporation. It's only 100 minted. I don't have that either. I probably never will. If it ever comes up for sale, I'm sure it'll sell for a ridiculous amount of money. That's what's missing from my piece. I'm missing the 1988 Summit Bank Corporation Prospector proof, and I'm missing the 1983 Eagle reverse proof, and I'm missing the 1984 E logo proof. I do have a Prospector that is a Canadian Prospector proof. This is another very low mintage. I think it's a 250 minted Prospector. It's undated. And it's got a very, very nice Canadian goose there on the back. I just love the Canadian Prospector. The Canadian Prospector originally came in a blue box like this. Right? So this is what it looks like. 1981 to 1986. 25 years of service. So this is kind of your Prospector breakdown. I know I hadn't had a chance to kind of go through all the silver Prospectors and the proofs and stuff, but this is kind of gives you an idea of how complex the Prospector is, how rich the history is. I just love the Prospector round. To me, it is, always has been, always will be far superior to the American Silver Eagle. It precedes the American Silver Eagle, and so I don't like to talk crap about the American Silver Eagle because it's, you know, it's the American sovereign coin. But I find that Prospector rounds are far superior piece of American history, and a much better value even, right? Like at the current price, I just find Prospector rounds to be a very, very wonderful. You can get them for just just a little bit more of a premium over spot, right? So you're wanting to buy stuff that you enjoy holding, but it's good to have some stuff that you're unattached to so that you could easily sell it. But what's stopping you from just sharing some of your stack? Like, that's actually all we do. I don't run like a bullion store because I rely on that, right? It's simply because I've stored value in that way, and so I am willing to part with some of the pieces because I buy them in bulk, right? So it's really a shame. You see a lot of bullion stores that have been doing this for a long time, and they are having trouble keeping their doors open because they don't have silver coming through the door, and that's how they would rely on doing business. And so a lot of these, especially the brick and mortar stores, they have a lot of overhead and operating costs, and so they're having to close down shop literally because there's not enough silver coming in the door for them to for them to resell. And when they are reselling, they're selling at such a low margin anyways, such slim margins anyways, that amount of money coming in, since they're actually reliant on the profit generated from those sales, they can't keep the doors open, right? And so I personally think you'll start to see a lot of those types of traditional brick and mortar shops shutting down, until people start kind of being comfortable with paying a premium for things that they enjoy. Because you have to acknowledge that your only option isn't to go sell back to an LCS or go sell to some wholesale online dealer at close to spot. Though, if you're trying to get rid of stuff quickly and get somebody who will take anything, then yeah, that's maybe a good option. If you're in a crunch and you got to do it and you bought the stuff near spot anyways, that's the purpose of generics. That's why you stack generics, and that's why it's good to have a nice base layer of generics in your stack, right? Because those are very liquid, and when I say liquid, I mean that you could go anywhere and sell those for a fair price, right? And you buy them at a fair price and you sell them at a fair price, and those larger companies that deal in selling that stuff sell that stuff in very, very high volume at very, very slim margins. And so they're doing everybody a service because there's huge competition, there's a lot of supply of that the generics out there, and so there's a lot of competition in selling that kind of stuff. And so you as the customer will be able to get a very, very good deal on the generics. And so it's nice to have a nice base layer of generics so that you can sell them with ease to anybody. But it's actually not too difficult once you kind of get in the habit and you start practicing to, you may kind of build a network of like-minded individuals who are trustworthy, that you could just sell off a couple pieces, share a couple pieces whenever you need to. You're not put in that position where you're forced to sell it at spot price or whatever because you didn't buy it at spot price, right? So it's okay, in my opinion, to buy a little bit of stuff that makes you happy, so long as you understand, you've done your research, you know what you're getting into, you haven't kind of overpaid for whatever it is that you bought, and you know that you understand that you would be able to it might take you a little bit longer to unload those kind of more collectible pieces, right? So always kind of keep that in mind when you're kind of building your stack. Anyways, it's been way too long of a video. Holy cow, it's been over 30 minutes. So hope you enjoyed the Prospector breakdown, and hope you can join in on this week's SBS drop. Cheers!